When you step onto the stage or into the interview room, you never know what questions you're going to get. I'm Cherie Wimberly, and as a top model, pageant contestant, coach, and judge, I've participated in thousands of modeling and pageant interviews. And today, I'll help you learn how to identify the types of pageant interview questions that you may be asked at a pageant and give you proven formulas and strategies to help you answer each type of question during your competition. Generally speaking, there are 3 types of pageant questions. But before we get into those, we need to talk about the difference between question types and question topics. Basically, what that means is that a question type is describing how the question is asked, and a question topic is describing what is being asked. First, let's examine question topics. There can be an infinite number of question topics that the judges might ask you about during interviews. Depending on your age and the pageant system you are competing in, these topics could include education, career, home, family, health, fitness, lifestyle, politics, women's issues, generational issues, world issues, the environment, the economy, sustainability, or just about anything you can think of or watch on the news. Almost anything can be the topic of a pageant question. But when it comes to question types, and we're talking about how these questions are delivered to the contestant, there are 3 types of questions or 3 ways that you will be asked about the topics. And it's as easy to remember as A, B, C. The 3 types of pageant questions are autobiographical, meaning about you, the contestant; belief, meaning personal opinion of the contestant; and choice, meaning you are presented with a choice question, and when answering, you have to choose between this or that and express your personal preference. So you have A, B, and C. And those are the 3 types of questions. Let's talk about A, autobiographical questions. Autobiographical questions are the most common types of pageant questions, and that's because a lot of times the judges will be given information about you prior to the interview. They may be given a copy of your resume, application, paperwork, platform statement, whatever the pageant director provides to them. And then based on that information you submitted, a judge might ask you general questions about yourself or about something specific that stood out to them in your paperwork. The easiest way to answer an autobiographical question is what I like to call the past to the future method, meaning past, present, and future. You go all the way back to the past, then you talk about the present, and then you wrap it up with your goals for the future. Let's try a sample question. Let's say your platform is autism awareness, and the judge asks you, how did you get involved with your platform? So you would start with the past. Well, I never knew much about autism before, other than in movies like Rain Man. So when my son was diagnosed, I was surprised to learn this condition was becoming more and more prevalent among young children, particularly boys. Next, you bring up the present. Today, it's estimated that 1 in 6 children will be diagnosed on the autism spectrum, and that number is growing. Unfortunately, there is still a lack of awareness and support for these children and their families. That's why, working with local organizations, I implemented an autism awareness initiative in my community. And this year, we have already raised $15,000 toward programs to connect families with local resources. Now you're going to wrap it up with your goals for the future. I hope to bring this program statewide and eventually nationwide. That's one of the reasons I'm so excited about the title of Mrs. Southwest Super Duper Worldwide, because with this platform, I will be able to give a voice to those who have no voice, statewide, nationwide, and eventually on a global level. So, you've talked about your past experience and how the topic of your platform affected you personally. Then, you talked about what you are working on today. And in your conclusion, you talked about not only your future plans, but also included how the pageant title would be an integral part of those plans. Of course, you would apply this method of past, present, and future to your own story and whatever autobiographical question is given to you. It could be about why you chose your career or educational path. It could be about your family. Anything about you personally is an autobiographical question, and you can apply this method of past, present, and future to quickly formulate a well-articulated answer. Next, we're going to look at the B question types, which are personal belief questions. A belief question is meant to find out how a contestant thinks, what makes them tick. Just like all pageant questions, there is no right or wrong answer, and with a belief question, it comes down to what is going on inside your head. So, the answer format I suggest for this type of question is what I like to call the shampoo method, and that is rinse, lather, repeat. Let's go over an example. Let's say the judge asks you, what do you feel is the greatest benefit of technology? The answer is going to be based on your beliefs, and you should always try to connect the question with your personal brand, your message, your platform. Let's answer this question using our contestant profile from the first example, and we're going to do the shampoo method, which is rinse, lather, repeat. When you shampoo your hair and you do the initial rinse, you are priming the hair to be washed. So first, we are going to prime the answer with an opening, and the easiest opening is to repeat the question. I feel the greatest benefit of technology is, and while you are repeating the question, you should be thinking of the answer in your head. Now, the contestant in our first example, her platform is autism awareness, so she might say, I feel the greatest benefit of technology is augmented speech. That is the opening. Now we need to lather it up and back up that opening line with evidence as to why it is your personal belief. As the mother of a child with autism, I have witnessed firsthand how augmented communication devices can not only teach young children how to talk, but also provide a voice for individuals of all ages who do not have the ability to speak with their own voices. At this point, the answer could be over, but if we take it one step further and give it a little extra scrubbing, we can talk about how this relates to the contestant's platform. That's why I am so excited about my autism initiative. Through my platform, we have helped several families obtain communication devices for their loved ones. And as Mrs. Super Duper Worldwide, I hope to expand this program on a global scale because I think many communities are underserved when it comes to technology. So now we have added that extra bit of scrubbing to tie in our platform, and we just need to give it one last repeat to tie it up. And the way we do that is to go back and repeat the question within our answer. We have these amazing tools, these incredible benefits that only technology can give. And that's why I feel that speaking devices are definitely one of the most important and greatest benefits of technology. And there you have a clean, wash and wear, freshly shampooed answer. In my opinion, personal belief questions are probably the most challenging of all pageant questions to answer. These are the types of questions where judges like to throw out really hard topics, political questions, controversial questions, so you really have to be ready to think on your feet. Now let's talk about the final type of pageant question, and that is choice. A choice question is about your preference, your personal likes and dislikes. It can be hypothetical, or it can be a real practical choice that maybe you have or have not had to make before in your own life. Again, there are no right or wrong answers. These are your personal answers. Similar to belief questions, personal choice questions are asking for your opinion, but they usually give a specific set of parameters or actual choices to make. Let's look at some examples. You could be asked open-ended choice questions like, what is your favorite holiday? Or, if you could remove any aspect of pageant competition, what would it be? Here you have some freedom to kind of think about the choices that apply and then say something. Examples of more specific choice questions with only one or two options would be, would you rather have beauty or brains? Or, if you could choose to live in a big city or a small town, where would you live? These questions narrow the field down to just a couple of choices, and then you would have the option to choose one or the other, or throw in a completely different answer altogether. That is up to you. But let's talk about my favorite method of how to answer choice questions. It's called the forward and back method. As a model, pageant contestant, and a judge, I've had a lot of experience answering questions and listening to answers. And I think the best way to answer a choice question is directly. You make your choice and then put forth your answer immediately. That's the forward part. The back part is to back up your choice. Give the reasons why it is your choice and provide evidence, examples, or a personal story to illustrate it to the judges. Now, let's use our contestant profile from the first two examples to answer a choice question. Let's say that a judge asks, what is your favorite holiday and why? In your head, you are thinking of all the holidays that you celebrate. You could say, my favorite holiday is Christmas. That's the forward. Now that you have put forth your answer, you must back it up and then tie it in with your goals for the pageant. And I've always loved the spirit of the Christmas holiday, but this year it was especially memorable because it was the first year that my son, who is nonverbal, said Merry Christmas to all of us. I get very emotional thinking about it. It's something that I wish for all families like ours who are living with autism. And that's why my Autism Awareness Initiative and this title of Mrs. Super Duper Worldwide is so important to me, so that we can help give a Christmas miracle to lots of other families, just like the one we had this year. So, now that you know the 3 types of pageant interview questions and 3 strategies to answer them, you can apply these techniques to your own platform, your own brand, and use the skills you learned today to improve your answers during pageant interviews. You can test your knowledge of pageant interview question types by visiting our mock interview questions videos to see if you can identify the types of questions and how to answer them. Thanks for watching.